There are moments in time when the veil between heaven and earth seems to thin, when what is hidden becomes visible, when the whisper of God grows louder than the chaos of the world. And in prayer, in stillness, in seeking, a date was revealed, not as a prediction to be feared, but as a warning to be heeded. That date is August 4, 2025. It is not the day itself that holds power, but what it represents, a crossroads, a line drawn in the spiritual sands, a turning point for many. And what God showed me about this day will shake you, not with fear, but with the awakening of truth. For some, August 4th will come and go like any other Monday. But for those who are listening, truly listening, this day will mark a shift in the atmosphere. It is a summons to realignment, a call to repentance, a cry to return to what has been forgotten. Because before blessing comes purging, before promotion comes pruning, and before God lifts a people, He searches their hearts. God is speaking. Come out from among them. Separate yourself from what defiles. Do not blend with the shadows and expect to carry my light. You may feel like you've been in a season of delay, of silence, of confusion. You've prayed, you've wept, you've waited, but this is not a season of punishment. It is a season of preparation. August 4 is not the beginning of judgment. It is the final call before the shift. A window is closing, a new one is opening, and where you stand will determine what passes over you and what passes through you. God is raising up people who no longer live for applause, approval, or comfort, but live to burn with His fire. People who have been hidden will be brought into the open. The ones who have suffered in silence will rise in purpose. The ones who thought they were forgotten will become the voices of awakening. But you must choose. Will you be found among the ones who slept through the shaking, or will you be the ones who stood unshaken with your lamp full of oil ready? Because the hour is later than you think, and what God is doing is not delayed, it's accelerating. Do not treat this moment casually. August 4, 2025 is not about a calendar. It is about your position in the kingdom, your posture in the Spirit, your response to His voice. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. If you've been waiting for a word, this is it. Prepare your heart, clean your hands, trim your lamp, because what is coming after this day will require a remnant, not a crowd. A people of consecration, not compromise. A people who fear God more than man. So rise up, be watchful, be ready. What God showed me about August 4, 2025 is not just about that day. It's about what you do before it, because when the shaking comes, it won't destroy those who are built on the rock. August 4, 2025 is not just a date on the calendar. It represents a spiritual intersection, a moment when heaven issues a call that few are prepared to hear. It is a turning point in the unseen realm, a divine checkpoint where the lives of individuals, families, and even nations could be redirected, reawakened, or shaken. This is not about superstition or speculation. It is about spiritual sensitivity. God often speaks through patterns, through appointed times, through moments that seem ordinary but are filled with extraordinary significance for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. There comes a time when complacency can no longer be entertained, when delay can no longer be justified, and when the soul must rise above routine to recognize the urgency of the hour. August 4th, 2025 is one such hour, not because the world will end, but because for many, a spiritual chapter will. It is a moment of accountability where the decisions of the past years begin to bear fruit, whether bitter or sweet. It is a season when what has been hidden will be brought to light, when what was done in secret will begin to echo in the open, and when hearts will be weighed not by what they say, but by what they have sown. This turning point is a mercy, a final call to alignment. It is not meant to paralyze with fear, but to stir to action. God calls not to crush, but to correct, not to destroy, but to direct. For those who have been lukewarm, this is the time to ignite. For those who have been drifting, this is the time to anchor. And for those who have been asleep, this is the time to awaken. You may not see anything visible on that day, but you may feel it. A shift in your spirit, a prompting in your heart, a weight of conviction, or a fresh breath of peace. The response depends on your posture, whether your heart is open or hardened, expectant or indifferent. Because the turning point doesn't always begin outside, it begins inside. It is a question not of the world's condition, but of your condition. Have you been walking with purpose or with distraction? Have you been listening for direction or living on autopilot? Time does not wait, and spiritual moments once missed are not easily recaptured. August 4th is not about a single event. It is about the door God opens for those who are watching, waiting, and ready. It is about crossing a threshold in the Spirit, stepping out of delay and into divine purpose. The choice is not for later, it is for now. Because when God marks a time, it is not so we can debate it, but so we can discern it and move. The alignment of August 4th, 2025 is not political, social, or economic. It is deeply spiritual. In seasons when God is preparing to move, He begins by setting things in order. That order doesn't always look neat. Sometimes it begins with a shaking, with the removal of what no longer belongs, with the revealing of what has been hidden beneath the surface. Divine alignment means that things will be exposed, shifted, and redirected, not to cause chaos, but to restore purpose. This alignment will affect hearts, households, and hidden places. Those who have been out of sync with their calling will feel an inner prompting to return. Those who have been carrying burdens they were never meant to carry may suddenly find release. And those who have been crying out for clarity may begin to see pieces falling into place, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. God does not operate on the world's calendar. He has His own set times, and when those times arrive, everything begins to move in a higher rhythm. In your personal life, alignment means letting go of distractions that have pulled you off course. It means surrendering relationships, habits, and environments that have delayed your growth. Sometimes alignment requires separation. Sometimes it requires courage to act when everything in the natural looks the same. But spiritual alignment is about obedience even when you don't fully understand. Because what is shifting in this season isn't just external, it's eternal. The decisions you make now can shape your future far beyond what your eyes can see. There may be moments around this time when you feel uncomfortable, as though something is pressing you to act, to change, to rise. That pressure isn't from the world, it's from the Spirit. It's the signal that the alignment is happening, that the window is opening, that the appointed time is not someday, it's today. And if you ignore that signal, you risk missing the assignment tied to it. What's most crucial in this alignment is posture. Are you available? Are you listening? Are you willing to walk away from comfort to step into calling? Because the path of alignment isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. It brings clarity. It brings peace. It brings favor, not based on effort, but on positioning, being in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right heart. Don't take this moment lightly. This kind of alignment doesn't happen every year or even every season. When it comes, it's sacred. It's a sign that something in the heavens has shifted, and now it's time for the earth to respond. Your response, your surrender, your readiness could be the key that unlocks not just your next season, but your destiny. There is a spiritual unveiling set to occur around August 4th, 2025. An unveiling that will not just shake the world externally, but will pierce through the veils in people's hearts. Many have walked in confusion, searching for answers, carrying unresolved pain, wondering why certain doors closed or why certain people left. But the time is drawing near when God will reveal what has been hidden, not to harm, but to heal, not to shame, but to free. What was once concealed will be illuminated, and in that light, truth will no longer be something you chase. It will confront you. This unveiling is both personal and collective. On an individual level, it means you will begin to see with spiritual eyes. You'll look back on moments that broke you and suddenly understand how they shaped you. You'll recognize the hands of God even in the things that seemed like setbacks. What felt like silence will be understood as divine preparation. What seemed like delay will be seen as a protective shield. Revelation doesn't just change what you know, it changes who you are. And that's the kind of clarity this moment is bringing. But clarity often comes through discomfort. The unveiling will require honesty. Masks will be removed, especially the ones we wear to pretend we're fine when we're not. The ones that cover up wounds instead of exposing them to the healing light. The truth is, many people are walking around spiritually numb, surviving but not living. And God in His mercy will not allow that numbness to continue unchecked. He will shake, not to destroy, but to awaken. He will uncover, not to expose weakness, but to call forth strength. When God unveils truth, it often comes with divine instruction. As the fog lifts, you may find yourself compelled to make decisions you've been avoiding, to forgive someone you vowed never to speak to again, to walk away from an environment that's draining you spiritually, to finally step into the role you've been afraid to accept. The truth doesn't just inform, it transforms. And in this season, it will do both, but only for those willing to see, to hear, and to respond. There will also be moments of confirmation. Perhaps something you've sensed but couldn't articulate will be confirmed through dreams, scripture, or unexpected encounters. Don't dismiss these things. When God reveals, He also equips. With every unveiling comes a fresh wave of grace to handle what is shown. You won't be left alone to process it. The same Spirit that reveals will also walk with you through the healing and rebuilding process. This unveiling is not meant to discourage, but to set you free from deception, from the lies of the enemy, from the heavy weights you were never meant to carry. What's coming is sacred and timely, and if your heart is open, truly open, you won't just witness a shift. You'll become the shift. Let truth do its work and watch as everything around you begins to align with the will of heaven. When divine timing intersects with human obedience, miracles begin to unfold in ways that defy logic and surpass expectation. August 4th, 2025 will not simply be another day on the calendar, it will be a spiritual marker for those who are tuned in to what God is doing. In that moment, those who have been waiting in faith, those who have stayed obedient in the dark, will begin to see a shift so significant that it will feel like heaven itself has spoken directly into their circumstances. This is not about hype or prediction, it is about alignment, being in the right posture when God decides it's time. There are seasons where it feels like God is silent, not absent, but quiet, and many lose heart during these times. But what's important to understand is that when heaven is silent, it's not because God has forgotten you. It's because He is preparing something too sacred to be rushed. For months, perhaps even years, He has been working behind the scenes, aligning people, opportunities, and moments like puzzle pieces. And when the fullness of time arrives, as it will around this moment in August, it will feel like everything suddenly makes sense. The closed doors, the broken relationships, the unanswered prayers, they will all be part of a bigger picture finally coming into view. This is a moment for the faithful to be vindicated. Those who have obeyed quietly, who have sown seeds in tears, who have walked away from what was popular to remain in the will of God. Your time is coming. The world may not have seen your sacrifices, but heaven has documented everyone. And in this sacred window, you will begin to see the fruit of your endurance. Doors will open that no man can shut. Promises that seem delayed will begin to manifest, and the favor of God will rest on you in undeniable ways. It's also a time for repositioning. When God moves, He doesn't just elevate, He also separates. Not everyone will understand what's happening in your life, and some may even resist it. But you're not called to please the crowd, you're called to follow the cloud. There may be shifts in your relationships, your environment, even your assignment. That's not a sign of failure, it's proof of transformation. As God moves you into the place where you were always meant to be, He will remove what no longer aligns with your purpose. Trust that loss is sometimes divine protection in disguise. Ultimately, this moment is about trust. You don't need all the details to step forward. You just need to know who's guiding you. The shaking will come, but so will the settling. The uncertainty will rise, but so will the clarity. And if you hold on, if you refuse to let go of what God promised, you will witness a divine shift that not only blesses your life, but positions you to bless others in ways you never imagined. The conclusion of this speech is clear and powerful. God is not random, He is intentional. And the date revealed is not to stir fear, but to stir faith. August 4th, 2025 marks more than a day. It marks a divine intersection where obedience, faith, and timing meet. It is a call to be spiritually awake, to prepare your heart, and to align your steps with what heaven is unfolding. What is coming may shake the world, but those who are rooted in God will not be moved. Trust Him through the uncertainty, through the silence, and through the shifting, because when God reveals something, it's not for entertainment, it's for preparation. Stay alert, stay faithful, stay ready.